This man is a dangerous terrorist, or so the government says. He lives under partial house arrest. But that doesn't stop passers-by like myself having a chat through an open window.
Hello, Maloud.
Hi, Phil.
Dispatches meets the men who, since 9/11, have become central characters in Britain's domestic war on terror. The government says they have links to Al-Qaeda, but the charges against them have been made in secret session.
It goes against our fundamental liberties, which in this country go back to Magna Carta.
We investigate the use of secret evidence in the fight against terrorism and ask if control orders are effective in protecting us. In this film, men accused of terrorism keep video diaries of their lives under government control orders.
Hi, it's me again. Do apologize. The charger has just fallen off the camera, but here I am. Hi, it's Mr. AA and I'm going out.
Maloud Sahali was known as Detainee AA, but he has asked for his anonymity to be lifted so that he can tell his story. He was charged with involvement in a plot to poison the public with ricin. He was found not guilty in April 2005, but after the July bombings, he was rearrested and jailed for another 4 months.
Hello?
Hello, Maloud. It's Phil here.
Hi, Phil. Let me just buzz you in.
Okay.
After his release, Maloud Sahali was sent to live in a room in this house. He is one of about 40 terror suspects under a form of control order or house arrest.
Now, where is it that I can go here? I mean, where's the line?
Well, actually, you know, this is the limit, the door.
The Home Office restrictions are
15.5 hours under house arrest. Electronic tagging. No mobile phone or internet. Daily visits to the police station. Travel restrictions 1 mile. Home Office clearance for visits.
It's quite stupid, you know. You can't get in unless you get approval from the Home Office. And,
So this is a line that you can't leave for most of the day,
Yeah.
and visitors can't come into.
It does work both ways. You can walk in and I can get out.
There we are.
Yeah.
Maloud, I think if you put that one just there.
Since our team had no clearance from the Home Office, we weren't allowed in. So Maloud had to set up the equipment for us.
And you stay that side.
Yeah. That's a way.
It's a peculiar thing, isn't it, really?
It is ridiculous, you know. I mean, this is.
I began the interview by asking the obvious question.
So, Maloud, you are considered a terrorist by the government.
Yeah.
I mean, surely the British government must have some basis to condemn you with such a serious charge.
I'm afraid to tell you that there is none. The only thing there is a racing. But I was cleared from that link in the first place.
But the threat is real. A crude ricin factory has been found in Wood Green.
They are, in their head, in here, convinced that I am a terror suspect. Not even a terrorist, proper terrorist.
Maloud Sahali is from Algeria. He came to Britain as an illegal immigrant in 1996 when he was 20. It was at the height of a civil war in which 250,000 people died. He says he was fleeing military service and admits he entered Britain on a false passport.
This map is being given to me by the court, as you may see.
The yellow line marks an invisible boundary that he cannot cross. If he does, he faces arrest.
It doesn't serve any kind of purpose, national security or any kind of things. I don't understand it, and you know, it's quite tiny and very, you know, claustrophobic, or what's the word? You know, you feel unhappy. You know, you reach the edge, which is quite a couple of streets down here. You can't cross the other side, which is ridiculous. Why? I mean, nothing does make sense. Okay, here I am in Bounds Green Station, traveling down to Wood Green Station. Now I'm on the escalator. I'm going to fall a little bit here.
Maloud's restrictions are imposed by a secret court used to detain or deport foreign terror suspects. The restrictions are designed to protect the public, but how effective are they? 3 controlees are on the run, and Maloud Sahali is free to travel on the underground, but only between 3 stations.
So here I am. I have just traveled 2 stops within my boundary, and really, I mean, if I was really a terrorist, as they alleging me to be, I had plenty of opportunity to do a lot of things, like, I don't know, plant something down there, kill people. It's amazing. Well, I'm free out to meet anyone and to go anywhere within a mile and a half. And I have three tube stations, you know. I have 100 of buses in, you know, in Wood Green, the bus garage, which has like about 60 or 80 buses in there. And a shopping center, a massive shopping center, and shopping areas, hundreds, thousands of people. If I was a real threat and real terrorist, it's so easy for me to bomb or commit an act of terrorism.
AR.
Mahmoud Abu Rida spent over 3 years in jail without a trial. He too insisted on being known by his name, not letters of the alphabet.
52938670.
He must call a monitoring company 3 times a day. Voice recognition software verifies who and where he is. Abu Rida's control orders are:
call the monitoring center between 3 and 4 in the morning. House arrest 12 hours a day. No mobile phone or internet. Home office clearance for visitors. No pre-arranged meetings.
Hey, I think he's coming.
But if I wait outside his house and bump into him, he's free to talk to me.
Nice to see you, man.
Unusual rules, it seems, for a man considered a serious threat to the nation.
To say, you know, we'd like to chat and thank you for everything.
The Home Secretary says in his control order that he has reasonable grounds for suspecting that Mahmoud Abu Rida is a key UK-based contact and provider of financial and logistical support to extreme Islamists in the UK and overseas, belonging to networks linked to Al-Qaeda.
Maybe I am a terrorist. Why don't go a court? Like people in, I believe me, the same people in Guantanamo. People, all the time, people in Guantanamo, very terrorist, dangerous. And now, 30% he go out. Any Muslim now, he arrested the government, he arrests anyone, Muslim. He told these people he with Al-Qaeda.
With Al-Qaeda, that's simply...
Easy, like ticket. He give you ticket, stamp, you with Al-Qaeda. Just go with Al-Qaeda.
Mahmoud Abu Rida is Palestinian and was politicized in the Gaza Strip. In 1992, he went to Afghanistan and fought with the Mujahideen in the Civil War. He came to Britain in 1996. In 2000, he returned to Afghanistan, he says, to help build a school. Far from condemning Osama bin Laden, he respects him. He equates the loss of lives in 9/11 with those who've died in Iraq, a point of view that many in Britain would find offensive.
He's Muslim and a clean man and good man. Like, you want me like I speak something for Osama bin Laden? I can't. This Muslim. It's better than Blair, better than Bush.
Curiously, Abu Rida's control order allows him to travel wherever he wants in Britain, so long as he's back by 7 at night.
I use my car, I drive my car, I'm coming in the House of Commons, House of Parliament. Sometimes I like to see Big Ben and I see this building, old building. I like this history and the history, this country, just myself. People think I'm a dangerous man. I am not dangerous man, I am not terrorist. I am okay, I am a normal man. Just I want my life come back normal anybody. I want a free man. Why I coming here, I thinking, why he put me control order? Why this building, he done this for the Muslim? Why? This is not good, this is not justice. Yeah, hello?
You got permission to film here today?
No.
No?
Not allowed?
You need permission, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Just walking over and walk maybe?
While Abu Rida was being filmed, the policeman thought he was a reporter from a Middle Eastern TV station, preparing to address the camera.
Unless you're here, unless you've got a permit from the local authority to film, get permission to stand in front of the Parliament and film, then you're not allowed to do it.
Why this?
No idea. No, I don't make the rules, unfortunately.
The government?
Yeah.
You like the government?
Speak to them.
You like the government?
I don't, but anyway, but that's their rules. Sorry about
No
that.
problem. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Sir. Thank
Bye
you.
bye. يلعن أبوها من بلد.
Hello, this is Mr. A. I'm going out now.
Detainee A also spent over 3 years in jail without trial before being placed on a control order. He wants to keep his anonymity to protect his family. Algeria was his home. He is accused of links to Al-Qaeda, as well as distributing leaflets in London in the mid-90s in support of Algerian Islamists. You're also accused of supplying satellite phones to extremists and of giving a sleeping bag and a pair of boots to Chechen rebels.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I can say I was involved in a charity work. One of them is Chechnya. And Chechnya, as you know, all people were driven from their homes, including children, elderly and so on. So I was given, different kind of things, including boots, medicine, clothes, communication equipment, to report what's happening in Chechnya.
Detainee A has been in Britain for 17 years. He married here and regarded Britain as home until one night shortly after 9/11. He was arrested. Along with Abu Rida, he was one of a dozen men rounded up and imprisoned without trial.
I have not done any crime. I am not a murderer. I'm not a terrorist. I am not. I'm not a criminal. I've never been convicted. Nothing. But if I compare my crime to these politicians, or to the decision of some politicians, like taking this country to the war, where they have inflicted horrible crimes. So I'm glad I have not done anything. I am not guilty of any crime. So my conscience is clear. I just want to show you how I'm exercising every day, because I'm locked here for 22 hours and I have only 2 hours outside. So that's the way I exercise.
Detainee A has the least freedom. His orders stipulate
House arrest for 22 hours. Electronic tagging. No mobile phones or internet. Home office clearance for visitors. Travel restrictions 1 mile.
This is the access door to the garden.
during his curfew, he can't even go there.
So if I step outside, that's I'm breaching of breach of condition, and I'll be put back in the prison.
He has 5 children, all born in Britain. The eldest is doing his GCSEs this summer.
Any father, I think he feels his duty is to protect his family, to be, breadwinner, or, that's it. Because I am restricted, I'm a disabled man now. So I cannot do anything. You are useless for society, for your community, for your kids, I can't even do shopping for my wife.
Control orders were introduced as part of the government's war on terror. In part 2, we discover why they don't work and how they damage the detainees.
Hello, it's me again.
Dispatches has been speaking to men the British government says are dangerous terrorists. They live under control orders, a form of house arrest, and they've kept video diaries.
So this is the main entrance to the door.
Maalood Sahali's video diary includes a tour of his flat.
And that's the bed. It's a single bed. That little box there, the black one, is the monitoring box.
The box is linked to his electronic tag and signals his whereabouts to the authorities.
This is the only exercise space I have, which is about 1.5 meters left of exercise. This is the toilet. And this is how big it is, really. This is the walls of the actual, which is the walls of my arm. So I get in here. It's another prison, the little prison, which, as we see here. This is the tag, actually. If you see it, I'm just filming it here. Now, it's impossible for it to come out unless I have to cut my feet here and remove it. it is worse than prison cell. My life is not worth living in this country, and then I will just decide to sign my own return to Algeria without fighting in court. And that's it, practically they win. They can't torture me physically, but mentally they are doing it every single moment of my life. So I am going to call the monitoring company, and I will feel myself calling them in a moment. Thank you.
Each night at 3 a.m., Abu Rida gets up to phone the private company that monitors his movements. He tries not to wake his 5 children. Abu Rida sought psychiatric help after a year in Belmarsh jail. He was transferred to Broadmoor High Security Hospital. Doctors said he was suffering from post-traumatic stress.
Five 2 9 3 8 6 7 0.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Please say just your 8-digit identifier number. For example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
5. The mental strain of control orders has been the subject of a medical paper.
The situation with a control order, one would think, might be an improvement. You're leaving prison custody. But we found that individuals still reported problems. It's the indefinite nature of the control order and the inability to challenge the evidence being used against them, which seemed to be quite corrosive in terms of their mental health.
Maulud has been worried that he's being watched, and he decided to check his flat for listening devices. The detainees are concerned that they are being monitored in ways that they are unaware.
So this has been driving me really paranoid. I got covered with a case of cameras or something. Sometimes you like to stay in your boxes and you don't want to have that paranoia thing that there is a camera watching you. Like a big brother thing, you know. No privacy. It doesn't look like there is something here at the moment. Maybe no microphones, but still. There is always a possibility of having a camera.
It's common to start to lose touch with reality, to start to believe, for example, that they're under surveillance. I've been accused by a detainee of being part of the security services.
Please call the control center. Please call the control center. Please call the control center. Please call the control center.
I have to call the monitoring company every day whenever I go or come back home. Let's try now. See what happens. Oops, it doesn't work again. Probably they can hear me, but I cannot hear them. This happens all the time.
Whenever detainee A fails to get through, he says the police come to his house.
So I said, I'm supposed to be one of the I pose a risk to this country. You should have a proper equipment to monitor me. I'm dangerous to this society. I said, that's what they claim, the government. You should have a proper, thing. I said, this is 21st century Britain. Come on, man. Come on, get the proper equipment. And it happened maybe 40 or 60 times. Can you believe that 40 times the police come to your house? One is enough. Imagine 40 times. So they driven us really mad. And I know why they did that, to put more pressure on me so I can just ask to leave, whatever.
The plight of the detainees was directly shaped by 9/11.
This country wanting to stand shoulder to shoulder with the US, led the government to claim that we had an emergency threatening the life of the nation that was so great that it demanded the jettisoning of the absolute right to freedom from arbitrary detention. A number of men, around a dozen, were singled out for special treatment and locked up indefinitely without trial.
Under the 2001 Anti-Terrorism Act, Abu Rida and detainee A became two members of the Belmarsh 12 and were locked up with no release date.
If the evidence that would normally be adduced and presented in a normal court were available, then of course we would use it. We're talking here about those who are adjudged to have committed, organised, supported and helped those who are involved in terrorism worldwide in the circumstances of the 11th of September.
3 years later, the Law Lords forced a repeal of part of the 2001 Act.
The House of Lords compared these provisions to, Hitler's Germany and the French Revolution, Stalinist Russia. In other words, they said that the threat to national security did not come from terrorism, but came from provisions like the Crime and Security Act. So that's how bad it was.
The government replaced indefinite detention with control orders in the 2005 Prevention of Terrorism Act. So detention without trial continued, but in the form of house arrest.
You have reached the Serco monitoring system. Please speak your 8-digit identifier number.
5, 2, 9, 3, 8, 6, 7, 0.
Well, there may be some interference on the line. Please try again and carry out the following checks. Make sure that the room you are calling from is quiet. And try not to hold the telephone too close to your mouth. If you cannot be verified, please call the control center to advise them.
After trying several times to get positive voice recognition, Abu Rida called the control center.
I am Mahmoud Abu Rida. I talk to you now. You don't know? I don't know. You have problem with the system, with the computer. I try phone. You tell me you use not Mahmoud Abu Rida. You different else. What's different else? I am in the home now. You want to play with me all the time? I stay half an hour, 1 hour. Why?
The control center said the police would have to be sent to his house.
You want to bring the police? I bring the police. I don't care. All the time police come. Don't treat me. Don't treat me all the time. Tell me police. What are you thinking? Oh my God. Go away.
To prevent the police entering his house, Abu Rida went to his local station instead. The following day, as I was walking to his house, he saw me and stopped his car. What happened then with the police?
I told the police I want to stay in the police station.
Yeah.
He told me you can't stay in the police station till you tell police. I want to stay in the police station. I am in the control order. I don't want people thinking I breached the control order. I breached already. Now, after 7 o'clock. And the police don't listen. Told me go where you want to go mosque, go you lawyer, Camden Town. You want to go enjoy your life, go any place. I told him I can't go any place. Told me just go.
I was shocked by what he told me. He had slashed his wrist in the police station. For the sake of his children, he's asked that we don't show his injuries. Maulud Sehali was known as Detainee AA until he decided to ask the court to lift his anonymity order. He believes the orders have become a tactic by the government to dehumanize terror suspects.
British people sees you as a letter, just a letter. I mean, who the hell are you? Letter B, C, D, Y, A. This is ridiculous.
Hello? I will for you something, yeah? Yeah?
Abu Rida has 5 children. His 2 eldest daughters are in secondary school. He wanted to show how much their lives have been affected by their father's punishment.
Drink something for you. Water?
It's very hard for us, we have curfew time from 7 to 7, and really, if you want to go some places, we don't have that much fun.
You have a friend visit you?
no, we can't have friends visiting us, but sometimes when they tell us, well, we can't come to your house, we just like get shy to tell them what happened. And we're not even allowed to use the internet or something, and if our teachers want some things from the internet, we can't tell them that.
I see the police all the time. He come and search my house, and he go, my wife clothes, my daughter clothes, my family clothes. This is a question for Blair. Maybe he like me. I go see Sheila Blair clothes. I open and I see what's happened was this inside, and he like me this. I think maybe he agree.
Detainee A believes the primary purpose of the restrictions and raids by the police is to break his resolve to stay in Britain. He asked his children about the visits by the police.
We're living a normal daily life, and then somebody just comes in and then spoils it. They used to come a lot, like twice, 3 times a week. And sometimes they just come for like wanting to bother us or something. Like if we're going to pray and then suddenly knock knock and then it's on the door, somebody banging it, like who could it be? And then it turns out to be the police.
Do you know why?
No.
Anyway, after all this, mental torture, that I feel I'm not human anymore. I cannot understand, I cannot think, I cannot, do normal things as any other fathers. I feel that I'm guilty of inflicting this. I am a cause for my family suffering. I have enough. I cannot go on like this. For the sake of my kids and my wife, I have decided to make my decision to go back home, back to my country, back to Algeria. So do you understand why your father is deciding to go back home, yeah?
Mm.
Yeah? Do you understand why, yeah?
Yeah.
So to give you your freedom, yeah?
Mm.
So you can have the internet and nobody bothers you on and knocking your door and come and search your private things,
Mm-hmm.
And you can have your friend comes to your house visiting you, yeah?
Mm.
But inside me, I know, and they know, the life won't be the same again. It means that's it. There is a separation. And this in itself is really hard for any father out there or a parent, to live with this.
Detainee A has been supported by the Muslim community where he lives. Some have spoken on his diary.
I'm as concerned as yourself and as every other member of the community. Surely this doesn't affect you alone. Rather, this affects every single one of us. Living in the same society with legislation that can put somebody away without giving them an opportunity to go to trial, without presenting the evidence to the public for a hearing, that is a disgrace upon our society.
We register our protest against the way British authorities have dealt with Mr. A's case, or the way Mr. A has been treated does not reflect the justice we approach and boast about across the globe.
People are seeing the criminality of what Tony Blair is doing around the world to Muslims.
Increasing numbers of British Muslims are now the primary target of control orders. Though originally introduced to deal with foreign terror suspects, there are now around 9 UK-born controlees. Mistaken intelligence was used to justify the invasion of Iraq. Next, we ask if intelligence heard in secret should be relied on as a basis for detaining terror suspects. We've been following the men the British government say are dangerous terrorists. The evidence against them is presented in secret. We ask, how reliable is it? This morning, Abu Rida is preparing to go to the High Court to appeal against the terms of his control order.
Good luck, inshallah, yeah?
He says the restrictions penalise not just him, but also his family. He is concerned that much of the hearing will be in secret.
How do you feel this morning? I mean, do you feel hopeful, confident?
No, I am not happy with the court today. The judge is not a free judge, and you have secret session. This is the problem. This is not normal court and free court. You have tomorrow secret session. I can't go there, and my lawyer, he can't go there.
It is very important to the public interest that sources should be protected. Some of them may be in danger of their lives, and that techniques should be protected. And in many cases, the moment you start a prosecution, it's not very difficult to guess who the sources are, because once the evidence is pieced together by intelligent defendants and reasonably intelligent lawyers, inferences are very easily drawn.
That argument is also used to justify the need for SIAC, the Special Immigration Appeals Commission, the secret court used for dealing with foreign terror suspects. It uses special advocates who have access to intelligence. One advocate resigned, uneasy at the use of intelligence alone to condemn suspects.
The problem with intelligence assessments is that you can never tell whether they're any good or not. I've been told by a policeman that, as far as he was concerned, the material that the intelligence people has was guesswork. The problem, it seems to me, is that everyone thinks of intelligence as if it's based on evidence, when intelligence is based upon assessments which are made upon material coming from all kinds of different sources. Some of it is evidence, but some of it may not be, and it's possibly third, fourth, fifth-hand material, the reliability of which you can't really properly assess.
We were unprepared for the scale of the difficulty and the nightmare that faced us in attempting and failing to represent people decently and effectively in these secret hearings. We can't do it. We're debarred from knowing anything.
In his High Court appeal, Abu Rida was accused by an MI5 officer of links to international terrorism, especially to the Algerian armed group, the GIA. Abu Rida was bemused. He's Palestinian.
I never found Algerian, and maybe I am Palestinian from Gaza Strip. Maybe I go support Hamas, I go support Hezbollah. I support group in my country. This better. Why I go Algeria? Why? It's not my country. This is in Africa.
Initially, Abu Rida's control order had also linked him to the Algerians involved in the ricin plot. The following day, the Home Office issued an apology, saying it was a clerical error.
Obviously, an intelligence service is going to get things wrong from time to time, not deliberately, but because sometimes it relies on indirect sources, like informants, for example, and they're not always accurate. In my opinion, the material obtained by the intelligence service is by and large very good and worthy of our trust.
To what I understand is, so far in the case, is that the Home Office or the Secret Services have some kind of secret evidence on my behalf. I mean, on me. I can't even appeal to another judge because he cannot see the secret evidence. I just wonder, is it a political stand or is it just some bullshit that the Home Office and the government are trying to make me a political scapegoat, just to demonstrate to the public that we are doing something. We are not a failure. We did not fail. We are doing something. And this is what we are doing.
Maalood Sehali was found not guilty of involvement in a plot using the poison ricin. But he now lives under virtual house arrest because of allegations based on intelligence the government says it can't bring before an open court.
Come in and ask me. Basically, it's to check me, that is me, physically, Sehali, who is here, living here.
Today, 2 of the jurors who sat through the trial that first accused Maloud of terrorism are visiting. After months of trying, the Home Office gave them permission to enter his apartment. They have become friends with Maloud, but don't want to reveal their identity.
At the beginning, when I entered the court, I was a different person to when I left, because when I got there I was thinking, these guys, you don't get to the Old Bailey under a terrorism charge for nothing.
I was fairly convinced that the government had a very strong case against these people. I couldn't see why they would be in a high court like the Old Bailey without a substantial amount of information.
By the end of the first half, the prosecution side, I sat there with my mouth open. I could not believe that this was it. Is this it? Is this surely? Where's the rest of it?
That the evidence was so flimsy.
Yeah, it was very, very thin. Obviously there was evidence against one particular man that we found guilty, but for the others there was nothing there.
During the trial, the jury discovered there wasn't any ricin and there wasn't any plot. One deluded man resisted arrest and killed a policeman during a dawn raid. The other 4 accused were simply his acquaintances.
The day it finished, I was very happy with the verdicts that we came to. But what really got me concerned and worried and also very angry was the government continuing to make scapegoats of and to hound Maloud and other men and use them in their justification for new laws.
I'm aware that the police have a very difficult job, because if they don't, they're not seen to be doing something, then they're failing the public, and that would cause mass panic. But the way that Maloud's been treated after this case, I didn't think this country was capable of doing that kind of thing. I thought our government and our legal system was better than all this.
Prosecution is and will remain our preferred way forward when dealing with all terrorists. But all of us need to recognise that it's not always possible to bring charges, given the need to protect highly sensitive sources and techniques. The fact is that there will always be some, including some extremely dangerous people, whom we cannot prosecute. Some say we should do nothing about these people. I don't accept this. The risk is too great.
Foreign terror suspects can escape the restrictions by returning to their country of origin. But as Detainier is discovering, it's not an easy decision.
As today I've received a letter from the Home Office and they've asked me to whether I'm willing to sign the waiver, you know, to withdraw all the appeals you have against deportation. And you see, I'm trying to do it today, but it's really hard. Deep in my heart, I have to do it for the sake of my wife and my kids, because they are suffering under these conditions, because all the conditions imposed by the SIAC court and the judges, it includes them, because they are confined with me in their own home. So for the sake of this, to leave them in peace and to give them their freedom back, I have to sign this piece of paper. I've tried to sign it many times. I really could not do it. Just any father out there, imagine you are going to sign not to see probably your kids again. I don't have heart right now to do it. I tried to do it earlier, but I could not. I don't have heart to do it now.
Many of those initially placed under control orders, as well as those rounded up during highly publicized terror raids, were either Algerian or, like Abu Rida, accused of links to the Algerian militant group, the GIA. Algerians were behind the ricin scare, as well as an alleged plot to flood the London Underground with poison gas. To investigate the Algerian connection, I travelled to Europe to meet a former spy in the Algerian security services, now living in hiding. Mohamed Samraoui says he left the service, the DRS, after refusing an order to kill an opposition activist. He said that 5 days after 9/11, the Algerian government gave Western security services 1,800 names of suspected terrorists living in the West. Would you say that the evidence that the Algerian government passed on to the British security services was accurate?
To think that the information given by the Algerian intelligence services to their British counterparts is objective seems to me to be laughable. It is pathetic to believe that accurate information would be given.
In 1990, there had been a military coup in Algeria. The generals had many enemies in exile in Britain.
I don't think the names on that list were of wanted terrorists. They were people who are against the Algerian government. They are opponents of the military regime. That is the main evidence against these people.
Voilà la première évidence concernant ces gens-là.
All the names handed over by the Algerian intelligence services to the authorities in the West turned out to be false information. We saw that with the Ricin trial in Britain.
In every instance I'm aware of in which information has come from an intelligence agency overseas which might not be completely accurate, which might not be completely trustworthy, evidence has never been produced founded upon such intelligence. It may be background information, but no more than that. But it would be idiotic to have a blanket rule saying that if a foreign intelligence agency volunteers something that might be critical, we just throw it in the bin and don't pay any attention to it, because paying attention to it might save lives.
Is there a coincidence that so many of the people detained originally were from Algeria, or at least linked to groups involved in the civil war in Algeria in the 1990s?
Well, it's obviously not a coincidence, but it's not necessarily the coincidence you're implying. You have to look at you have to answer the question: who are the people who are likely to be involved in the sort of violent jihadist terrorism that we happen to be dealing with just at the moment? And as it happens, some of them are likely to come from, for example, Algeria.
Detainee has decided that returning to Algeria, with its abysmal human rights record, is preferable to the torment of living under control orders in Britain.
And today I'm ready to do it.
The government has not forcibly deported anyone to Algeria because it cannot get assurances that they will not be tortured. 2 detainees who have returned voluntarily disappeared last week. From your experience, does the Algerian security services, the DRS, extract information using torture?
La seule source.
It is the only way. The 2 main ways of extracting information from people is through torture or phone tapping. There is no other way.
Donc c'est pour extraire des informations, ou bien c'est l'écoute téléphonique. Il n'y a pas d'autre
In fact, I remember when I spoke to the head of intelligence about torture, he said to me, "We cannot get information out of them by giving them flowers. We can't just say, 'Please say something.'"
Please say something.
The so-called war on terror has forged unlikely international alliances and stirred a deep sense of unease within Britain's legal profession.
We have learned in the last 4 or 5 years that intelligence assessments have been distorted and used by governments to suit their political ends. And because everything is kept secret, it is impossible for the general public to be part of this debate.
Detainee A prepares his family for his departure.
Where I'm going, Abdurrahman? Do you know Abi where he's going?
Yeah.
Where?
Algeria.
Why he's going to Algeria?
Because the police is gonna come here.
Why?
Because they want to take you.
I can't hear you. Can you?
Because he wants to take you.
As you can see, I am packing my stuff away from my kids and my wife because it's very stressful for the whole family and really sad to see their father packing his stuff. I am powerless, hopeless. I have no choice. They will be coming early morning. To the British government, I tell you that congratulations, you have destroyed this family.
The Home Office declined to take part in this programme, but they stated that it is our firm belief that the Prevention of Terrorism Act strikes the right balance between safeguarding society and safeguarding the individual.
8670.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Please say just your 8-digit identifier number.
52938670.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Please say just your 8-digit identifier number. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
52934670.